I could have sworn I hit that button 3 minutes ago. Anyway, come on in, everybody. We see out there. It's Comics by Night. It's time to go. We've got stuff to look at, things to do, people to talk about. Great stuff to show off today. You're going to love this. This is great. Not a whole lot of people have seen this material, so here we go. I think that's it. No, that's the promo. I got to get this coordinated more. Is it way up there? It's way up there. Here we go.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
Come on in, everybody. It's Comics by Night. We're here to talk. We're here to show some stuff off. It's going to be a great show. Come on in. We see out there the chat is open. We're not sure if the chat is alive yet. Nope, nobody's awake yet, but the chat is open. What we're going to be looking at today is the X-Men ELSEWHEN volumes. I had them dropped off at my door by a mysterious benefactor who said you might enjoy these. I didn't talk to him directly, but he sent me an anonymous email and said you should look at these. And Cartoon Kayfabe has had them on before, and I've got 2 volumes of them, and apparently there are 5 volumes floating out there, but everything is off of John Byrne's personal website, which is byrnerobotics.com, I believe. Let me see here. It might take a little. Yeah, byrnerobotics.com. I should probably type that up and run that as a banner. But what this is John Byrne decided he was going to do X-Men for himself and for other people to enjoy it up on his site. And he has been posting a couple pages a week, apparently. And there is a large amount of this material now available, and some of it has been pirated into publishing files and printed independently. There's no price on the book. The book is not available unless you have an anonymous benefactor. So I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I've been doing this for a long time. Podcasting and talking about comics and drawing comics and all that. Arrow Comics is the banner that I'm responsible for at the moment. We have a lot of great products out there. Go and check us out at the arrowcomics.store. And right now available is Hero Bot number 2 with a great cover by some guy named Rosema, who swore he was going to be here today and has yet to show up. As well as Paragon number 1, great superhero stuff, and Calico Ashard. Copies are available now over at the store. Hope you go over there and take a look. Calico is a fantasy title that is drawn by a member of our panel today.
Yeah.
C. Michael Lanning. C, introduce yourself.
Hey, of course, I've seen Michael Lanning, independent artist, as you see. Drew Calico of Shar, Randy Zimmerman, among other things. Also a host of Dispatches from Outside the Box on the IndieComicsNetwork.com.
Look at that fun. Just great stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you get it. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, also joining us today, since I joggled my camera there. Also with us today is Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, my name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist and publisher. I'm an author. I'm author of this book, Jack Kirby, Personal Pit Journey in Words and Pictures, which is details my trips to see Jack Kirby at his house in the late 80s and early 90s. And with the book, you also get a DVD of me talking with Jack in his studio. I'm the creator of this comic Hatch, which is coming out soon on I'm not sure which crowdfunding platform yet, but that'll be out soon. This is a pre-press copy that I've made up, just so I could see what it looked like. And I also publish Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page quarterly magazine about comics, and that's all these things are available on Amazon, and issue 11 of this is out now.
Sweet. And also in the house is Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself.
Good morning. Sorry, I've still got the remnants of a cold. My name's Russ Leach. I am a comic book artist from the UK, and you can find me currently in the pages of Batman magazine for the UK and Europe, and Only Death Can Save Us, which is out on Indiegogo, but you can also find the first book reprinted on Amazon from New Haven Publishing. That's about it, really.
And you get prompt delivery on that book too. I got it within a couple of days.
Oh, there you go. Prompt delivery. Yes.
Prompt delivery.
But Hero Time presents Batman the third issue with me in, will be out on the 14th of January. There you go.
There we are. And also joining us today is Mr. Scott Roseman. No.
Whee!
No.
He's here in spirit. That's what it is.
He's here in spirit. He's probably fast asleep.
He's in the comments.
Is he in the comments?
Asking for the link. Look at that.
Scott, the link is over on Facebook. On your right where you talked to me before. The link is right underneath there.
Come on, Scott. Wake
Come
up.
on, Scott. You can do it.
Scott.
You can do it.
Get in here now.
It says I'm here too, but floating in the nega zone. Link, please. Facebook Messenger under the Sunday Funnies group. He's laughing.
Lo.
Come on in, Scott. The water's fine. Let me get rid of my name here, as I need to do every episode we do this in, just to give you the full space. Now, what this is called X-Men ELSEWHEN. What John Byrne decided to do is to do his own version of what he would have done with the X-Men, or what he's doing with the X-Men after issue 136. And the Dark Phoenix saga ends differently than what is basically out there. What happens is Jean Grey is still alive. The Phoenix Force has been knocked down or subdued. Susie came online, but I can't find the link. Please help. Scott, come on. Come on, buddy. You can. Anyway. He's online. I'll send him the link. I sent him the link. He's on Susie's. He's on Susie's Facebook.
He doesn't really want to be on, does he?
He's just
he's being a big tease.
He's going to stay off camera the rest of the show. He'll be always in the chat. Anyway, what Byrne is doing is he's posting a couple pages a week, and he's continuing the story up in issue chunks written as if he had, professionally done it and penciled and lettered, but not inked. So what we're looking at here is raw burn pencils.
Wow.
With lettering on it. You can see the pencil marks here on the book. Oh my goodness. Guess who's here?
Oh
no. What?
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Scott.
Oh, Roseman.
You contemptible bastards.
Scott. You're in the Sunday Funnies chat on Facebook.
Here I am.
Links are always
floating around in the nega zone like Reed Richards.
Sunday Funnies chat on Facebook. Oh yeah, and you still have the show on.
Oh, hang on.
Oh yeah, and you still have the show on.
Here we go. Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Introduce yourself real quick so we can get on to this stuff.
Scott Rosema. Itchy Beard. Marvel, DC, X-Men. Space Ghost. Please. Take the camera off me.
All right, camera's off you. Here we go. Have you heard of these books before, Scott?
I've seen Byrne post on his site these
Yep.
pages that he obviously got a jonesing to do again, but I haven't seen this stuff collected.
Okay.
It's awesome.
It's just the pages that you can find up online, but it's in a physical copy.
Oh,
So.
and where is that where is that printed at? Did you print your own?
No, I had these given to me by they just appeared on my porch one day.
And one of those
Because
weird
that's the way
baskets.
it needs to be. Yeah.
Like
I
the
am
Moses
told-
of comic books.
I am told there are print files floating around all over the place, and that there are up to 5 volumes of this material available. Each volume's got 6 issues worth of content in it. And we get to see
God, that looks cool.
we get to revisit Byrne back from this era. Only you can see the love in the pages, which is so great.
Oh,
You can tell. I think it's some of the best work he's ever done, if not the best work he's ever done.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it looks-
Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh,
There are
So
some
inks, you don't
pages
need
in
those
here
speaking
that
inks.
yeah, exactly. You don't need those techniques. There are some pages in here, some shots that actually remind me a lot of Neil Adams. Just
Yeah.
beautifully done.
back when he was doing that series and he had Tom Palmer inking him, there was a lot of Adams tribute there. A lot of that stuff.
Marvy's in the house. Marvy, hope you're doing all right. What's that, Scott? No way. Greetings, sinners. Have a great weekend. I'll watch the replay later because I can hear you, but I
End of
can't
the year miracle.
watch the show at work. See, that's one of the reasons why I had to stop watching most of Comic Kayfabe, is because I would stop working in order to look at what they were showing
Yep.
all the time. And it got to be kind of crazy. They do have a great, speaking of Arrow Comics, they did a review not too long ago of Vince Locke's Dead World. Up there.
Vince, yeah.
I'm talking about how great it was. So if you get a chance, that's comic book kayfabe on YouTube over there. Look at that eye shot right there. Just gorgeous. This is Sprite before Shadow Cat, before Lockheed. This is right after he picks up right after 136. And instead of Jean Grey dying, her body is preserved, and she has her brain function, her mentality has been knocked down to that of about a 5-year-old.
Huh.
Look at that shot.
Man, oh man.
Sprite going into the floor. You can tell he just loves that.
What I like there is
Wide
look at
eyes.
that the shading on Nightcrawler's face in that
Yeah.
middle panel.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
masterful center shading is just
I like the high view of that top left panel, and on the page before, the high view of and on the page before there was a great one of the guy coming in the door, just speaking to them on that page there. I can see that the way where he's looking just sends your eye right down. It's fabulous.
Got a great composition here.
Yeah.
Just straight on, tilted right to that panel with him overhead, kicked off right to there.
And backgrounds too.
Finished off. Yeah. Great background.
sure is nice to have a modern master like Byrne still around and obviously still firing on all cylinders.
Exactly. At the top of his craft.
But it's just a shame this isn't allowed, so to speak.
Well, the urban legends that I've heard is that Byrne offered it to Marvel and they passed on it.
Wow.
Or that Marvel found out he was doing it and offered to print it, and he said, hell no. I'm not sure which one of those legends are true. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat or put it in the comments below.
Oh, that rendering of Blackbird in that first panel.
Oh, yeah.
First panel.
There's a couple of these in here that are like that are just amazing. Just incredibly done. Look at that tight shot of Wolverine. That's Wolverine. That's the Wolverine we all know and love right there.
Jeez.
Still in his yellow Michigan U of M outfit, blue and gold.
Man.
What are your color of Wolverine? Well, Michigan U of M's colors are blue and gold. Well, that's what we're going to dress him in, even though he looks like a tiger. It's great. Jean's parents here, what they end up doing is they drop Jean off at her parents' house. And they say, hey, you now have a daughter who's got the mentality of a 5-year-old. We'll see you later.
Oh, man.
Good.
After a little bit of argument here.
Well, that great shading on the top panel there. That
right here.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. Like you said, masterful.
Awesome.
Just amazing.
The detail on that right-hand page.
Yeah.
That's how dense is that?
Man.
Yeah.
Don't got George Perez anymore, but we still got Byrne. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be a real shame if none of this ever, gets inked, especially by Terry Austin, and gets out there. It just screams for Austin on it.
I was just going to say it would need a superlative inker, and if Austin still has his chops,
yeah, it'd need some hardcore inker on that, if not Byrne himself. He probably doesn't want to go back over and do this or ink them. That great shot of Colossus right there. He's laying in his own sound effects.
Yeah.
Runk.
It's just classic comic book. I mean, it's just classic comic book.
Yeah, the detail is amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's just
It's fabulous.
like I said, it's almost as if Byrne has merged with Neil Adams on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially the later Byrne material, which really got a lot looser and cartoony. This stuff's all super tight and
do
just
you guys
beautifully detailed.
Glenn, I got a question for you, being the master of production. Do you
What about go on.
Go on. But do you think that Byrne actually put this lettering on the actual pages, or do you think this is?
I was just thinking. I was just trying to look, see whether there's any.
I think that's digital.
Any lines on, but it doesn't look like a digital font. It doesn't look.
The files that I'm seeing on Bing don't have any lettering on them, so I imagine he put this on digitally.
Okay. I'm just trying to. It seems a bit uneven for a digital font to me.
Well, I don't know about whether it's, I mean, it looks like the balloons are hand drawn, or at least drawn with a loose template of sorts.
When I say digital, I don't necessarily mean that they were originated digitally, but they were mixed with the pencils digitally.
Yeah, could be.
Right.
They were laid on over the top.
Right. So you may have done them separately on board and got you. Yeah. Because if you look at that balloon on just below your thumb, Randy, at the bottom of the pad, go down. One right in the center of the page.
Right there.
No, bit more down. Where your thumb is. Where your thumb is now.
That's hand drawn.
Yeah, that one right there.
Look at that one. It's
right
not,
there.
Yeah, it's not right, is it?
Well, it's got that slight organic curve to it that allows for things to not be perfectly elliptical or whatever.
It's easy enough to manipulate those points, though, to get that angle to it.
Randy, you said that you saw some files without the lettering on.
Yeah, there's a lot of files on Bing.com that doesn't have the lettering on it.
Maybe they were lettered after those files.
Maybe.
The artwork,
because this balloon isn't even either. In fact, he's cropping pretty close to the side of the balloon there.
Yeah, it's very tight, isn't it?
Yeah. The way to really tell, though, is to compare S's on these fonts to see if it's done. No, I would say that's a computer font.
Yeah.
The balloons might be. I would imagine some of this might be organic here.
Yeah.
But again, it's easy to duplicate in Photoshop, and it's easy to flatten this out. In fact, I could do it on CorelDRAW.
Sure.
To flatten out the balloon or to make it oblong like that. Easy. And that's a rustic software.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Just that man.
Is John Constanza still around?
I honestly don't know.
Because
I think he is.
I think he must be 80ish. I'm just thinking if he relettered this, and you could get Joe Sinnott to ink it, which I know we can't, but That'd be
Oh,
fantastic.
that would be too good.
Yeah.
Even Tom or Jakowski.
Tom Marchikowski's still around and
Yeah.
and hardy and healthy, so he could do it.
In fact,
really well.
he's got his kids up in lettering as well. So
Yeah,
just in the same way he does.
Louise Bullhouse is around. She was really good with him.
Child labour.
As a swank, his kids are old and grown.
It's a relic of the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's still around. 79.
Costanza.
Yeah.
Thanks, C. Modoc enters the picture.
Oh,
look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, and he doesn't look like Trump.
No, isn't that amazing?
He looks better. That's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's so much more handsome. Oh,
Look at the eye on the floor there.
That panel of Modoc, I would kill to ink that. That would
Yeah.
How gorgeous is that? Yeah.
Yeah. It's real Kirby, isn't it?
Oh my
Look at the eye on the bottom of the page as well. When she's on the floor.
She's coming through the floor. Yeah.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Just beautiful. Yeah.
that is prime burn. That's amazing. And look at the simplicity of that panel before it, where the guy's holding her hand and she's, it's oh man, oh god, that has all that masterfully of like Dan Spiegel, the old Dan Spiegel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing.
Yeah, I could see a little influence there in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that the AIM guy looks.
Jesus. I wonder how many people, how many collectors would just kill to have some of these original pages.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Byrne's got them all under
Well,
lock.
I understand that they are for sale. So you might check around eBay or byrnerobotics.com, and
Man.
he's probably got them all promised out to specific collectors, because if I had the
Oh,
money.
yeah.
However, kids, if you're on a budget, my pages are for sale next year.
I bet you guys like Harley Yee and Jamel, all those guys are just salivating over this. Oh man, look at that tech stuff with the
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There. We just spent 3 episodes on Steranko on that, just that kind of machinery.
Looks great panel there on that. The great panel there, and she's thinking, "What the heck is this?" And I was looking at that, thinking, "What the heck is that?" It's just like a set of light bulbs, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's brilliant. Like the TARDIS.
You know, it's amazing to think that Byrne did this all in his own time, and yet this is the stuff he was doing when he was under crunching monthly deadlines, and just the.
It's even more amazing that he won't let them publish it, or they turned it down or whatever.
he's probably still got a personal deadline on all of this stuff.
Yeah,
he kicks it out on a regular basis.
Oh, I mean, he was born to work in comic books. Oh yeah, look at that, another Modoc shot. Oh, look at the shading on that. Man.
Yeah, he's a group of artists that, like you said, seem to be born to this art form. You know, Perez is like that. Ron Friends, I would consider like that.
Oh, Ron, definitely.
There's a number of them out there during this era that their stuff is very individual and very, very well done. Simonson, which we'll look at here in the upcoming weeks. Look at that.
Well, there's another one. Simonson is another one that's not lost a single step in all these years.
Yeah. Well, his Ragnarok material is really sweet.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the balloons on the lettering are stark white, so they've been laid in.
Yeah,
sure.
Here you can see the difference. I can see the difference in tone. And if she's walking through the door.
As long as whenever the lettering would be redone, as long as it doesn't get to where they want to make perfect ellipses or perfect lines, because it's something about when the balloons were all drawn by hand, they matched the quality of the actual hand drawn artwork.
Yeah.
And the drawback of computer lettering is not. I mean, I love there's some really great stuff, but it tends to be too precise.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
loses a little bit of that warmth of the hand drawn. And if people can learn to draw ellipses of balloons in computers without using, computer shapes and all this.
Well,
If you look at
it depends how you apply yourself. In my first book, I used ellipses and then warped every ellipse.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
exactly.
that it gave that sort of feel, that sort of organic feel to the whole thing, because you don't want to just put down shapes, because like the eye works that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. If you look at European comics as well, a lot of Mobius, especially Mobius, the panels are square and rectangular. So just do that. That works.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But as I'm always, boring everybody to death with the lettering thing, I think it's part of the artwork. It should be part of the artwork. But if it's put on by a computer, you buy the artwork or get the artwork on the wall, and there's no lettering on it. And to me, when you see those Kirby pages, especially with Sam Rosen and Artie Simek lettering, it just completes it. You've
really
obviously got the story on them, and but the artwork, the lettering is part of the artwork. This lettering kind of, I think, digital lettering jolts, like we said. It doesn't look like part of the artwork because it's a separate, precise thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice zoom though.
In those days when the letterers were artists themselves, I mean, these guys were they were sign painters or they're calligraphers, or they really approached even the lettering of a comic book with the same approach they would if they were having to make some invitations for City Hall or whatever.
Well, I think
I read very much an art unto itself.
Yeah. Yes, I think I read somewhere, I think it was in Comics Journal, that either Simek or Rose, I'm not sure which one, did some of the backgrounds in Fantastic Four #1.
Oh yeah,
inked some of the backgrounds because of the deadline and all that, and everybody was just hands-on. And as we saw with those Steranko pages, it seemed like everybody and his dog was working on those pages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
So what I'm saying there is that Sam Rosen or Artie Simek would need to be an artist to do those backgrounds. They wouldn't just allow them to do it or ask them to do it. They'd need to be an artist. And I think those guys probably, I'd love to see some Artie Simek artwork if he did it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or she, and that's amazing when you think about, and just another quick little bit about lettering history is that what was so amazing is that some of those letterers did an amazingly high profile work way outside of comics, like the one big letterer for DC Comics. He did almost all of their work for a long time. He actually was the one that designed the lettering that was carved into stone above the New York Public Art Library.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's how skilled he was. I mean, he was, so they really brought some A-list talent to these comics.
Yeah.
So I thought they did Two Morrows or somebody did a book on one of those DC guys, the main guy who did all of the logos back then.
Yeah, it was Ira Shapper.
I don't remember their name, but if that book's available, we should probably look for that. And show off a copy of it, just to show. Here is the back of Naked Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right there in front of Angry Wolverine. You left me in the jungle, damn it, and I woke up inside of a big plant.
You forgot to bring my trousers.
Exactly. Ate my clothes. I just kept regenerating.
Isn't that, just look at that page where he's naked from the back? Isn't it funny how the guys are covering the eyes, but the girl isn't?
Yeah, they're all like, "Whoa, hey!"
Well, it's like looks like Colossus covered Kitty Pryde's eyes.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, no.
Hey, I didn't know your claws came out of that part of you.
Classic issue 96. You never asked.
Yeah.
He breaks out from the Sentinels at the start. And Banshee freaks. I didn't know those claws were a part of you. You never asked.
Oh man.
This has got to be published, hasn't it? It's just
That's
even if they just published it as we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, it just
that lettering's changed.
That kind of stuff.
The lettering's changed, hasn't it?
It's gotten more
Russ.
typeset here. I thought this was a little bit more generic,
Yeah.
but that might be
Yeah.
intentional too. But look at this crowd right there. I looked
Everybody's
at that
a
and I
different
went,
face.
oh my goodness, it looks like Neil Adams. It does. Look at that
Yeah.
face. Just amazing work.
Oh,
And also, look at the density of the page.
Yeah.
Okay, and then see how economic the lines are.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a master at work. Okay,
That's
not
true.
overdoing it.
yeah. Nice big areas of open space on the sleeves and on some of the coats, and just
no requirement to overdo that. Everything is in its place, and
Yeah.
you can see the graduation of depth.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just amazing.
I'm just so proud that John Byrne took all my lessons to heart. So
I know. Well,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to write them all down, mate.
Look at this 2-page
Oh,
top panel here. It was Sentinel. I can flatten this down. This is my personal
man.
copy, but look at
Look
that.
at that. Look at that top. That's just.
oh
Do you know
my
what that smacks of as well? That smacks of time. I know you're talking about him being able to do things. Obviously, he was able to do things, turn it around. But look at this. Just look at the love that's gone into that.
Oh,
That's exactly what I was going to say. Look at that love there on the page. You can see it's right
You
there.
can just see it there.
Yep.
And it's like he's been able to, okay, he might say to himself, right, I'm going to take half a day or whatever it is to do these pages. But he's not got to the end of that time and gone, I've got to leave it there. He's been able to go, no, this is going to be right. This is going to be what I want it to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a passion project,
Look at that boot going into that car.
Oh yeah.
Just
God.
fantastic.
Yeah. Just amazing.
And the knowledge it takes the car that the Sentinel is lifting, that
Yeah.
just the knowledge it goes into constructing a rounded hood or a rounded body of a car upside down in perspective.
Yeah.
Is that girl coming out of that car?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then the slight cast shadow on the car below it. And the hood of the car below it. It's just
Not just that, but here we've got this crash. Every little sliver of glass is all. And this is all just finely detailed.
Jesus.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh, what? Didn't a second ago? Didn't we all just kind of laugh, almost giggle happily when we saw this? I mean, it's just that's what it feels like. It feels like when I would pick up a comic, off the stand when I was so much younger, and I was just so happy to have it. Yeah. And you see this stuff, and we're just, oh my God, we're giggling like we're,
It's solid nostalgia. Yeah.
Oh,
Harold's back
amazing.
to the time when we couldn't wait for an issue of X-Men to be on the stands for us to read it.
Oh God, yeah. Or John Buscema Avengers or Neil Adams.
And you have a number of great
Batman or
great comics.
Oh God. You're not kidding about this being one of the real guilty pleasure here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Get that Wolverine face again. Just phenomenal.
Yeah. How many pages is this?
Each volume is about 140 pages long.
Oh, and there's how many volumes out?
As far as I know, there's 5. I have 2.
Holy crap.
And
I didn't
these
realize
are
you've been doing it for this long.
They're off of pirated print files and, people printing them out of their basement because there's no mass printing of this. Absolutely none. Unless Marvel, wakes up tomorrow and decides to sanction it.
And becomes sane.
Yeah, becomes sane. That's the big thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll want to do good comics again. Maybe we'll do that.
And then to talk about the business for a second, Perch yesterday pointed out that there are now $5 mangas over at 5 and below.
Wow.
Oh,
Big,
really?
Thick black and white volumes, newsprint, white newsprint, with the first couple of issues of each of big titles like Attack on Titan and different titles like that for kids to come in and buy. Of course, it's in reverse, but
yeah.
it's something that Marvel and DC should have done years ago.
Oh, God.
Back when they were doing showcases and essentials.
I'm just going to label my book manga from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just to get the sales.
Just
Yeah.
put it in the manga section.
And also, talking about getting comics out to the masses, Archie is starting to put original material in their digests.
Original material? What do you mean?
Original material. If you have Steve Butler on your Facebook list, him and his daughter are putting together short stories that they're putting in at the front of the digest.
Oh, no kidding.
And a lot of that material has the Archie group meeting the Red Circle pantheon of heroes.
Oh, wow.
And villains. Real quick stories, nothing, nothing, not an issue's worth of stuff, 8 to 12 page stories, but there's still original material being put in them digests because Archie knows where their audience is.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So
God.
I would hope that they have plans in the next 4 or 5 years to start kicking out books of their Red Circle pantheon again. I know they've tried a couple of times over the years. They've done Mighty Crusaders, and even Liefeld was working on Mighty Crusaders for a short minute. I think he only printed one book of it.
Yeah, I was involved in trying to get some of that going with a few people, and it just, for some reason, the Red Circle group just never seemed to catch on.
Yeah. Well, they're viable characters, all they have to do is get them out there and keep them out there long enough for them to, catch on.
Oh,
Look at that. Wow.
man.
They could even take this stuff and knock it down into white newsprint and kick it out for $5.
God.
Just imagine kids nowadays being able to pick up 100-page volumes for $5 of starting from Giant Size X-Men 1, even though it's in black and white. They'd do it in a heartbeat.
Oh,
And the stories would be great. I think that's kind of part of their worry is that they don't the modern stuff to be compared to the older stuff.
Maybe so. Yeah, because it's not going to at all.
Oh, this is just. Oh,
It
man.
definitely won't end well. Yeah. Not for the modern stuff, at least. Look at this.
No, what you look at the stuff that if you have seen those DoorDash commercials that are mixed with the Marvel, and it has like the supposed comic book feel to it. It's just like, wow, that's really bad. And that's their ads.
They could do material like this. They just don't want to.
Yeah, I just don't. Boy, that shot of Colossus is just wonderful.
Isn't that great?
That's just
Coming down on that Sentinel.
Well, see, you can't get the talent anymore. You can't find any talent anymore.
Well, that's the excuse that they use.
Right?
But there's plenty of talent out there. They just have to tap into it and pay it a living wage in order to keep them. It's not that the talent isn't there. It's in video games. It's in advertising now.
I think the talent's always there, isn't it?
It has all.
There's someone hungry to do this stuff.
Yep. Not just that, but you have people out there who have that hunger that would love to work at Marvel and DC if they were given the chance. But nepotism or buddy system being what it is, or having boxes to check, keeping a lot of people from doing work that like this that they could do and show love through.
Does anybody think that there could be a kind of dominant mindset with Disney overseeing Marvel and Warner Brothers overseeing DC? If there was this notion that they just are kind of stripping all the incentive out of the comic business and just using it simply as a mining field to get properties for movies out, and so
that's precisely what it's become, because they don't see the value in physical publishing anymore. Even though these books sold in the millions at one point, not these books, but the old X-Men books were selling $250,000 to $500,000 every issue. The Byrne Austin material.
Oh yeah.
They had to have huge numbers on them, and they could get them back again. It wouldn't take much. They just have to make them more accessible.
You just have to make them cool again.
And fun again. Yeah.
It's ironic, isn't it, that they bought all the properties to make billions on the films, but they're neglecting the source material. We've said this before.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that they don't seem to understand that there's a lot of lots of value for this stuff out there.
Comics don't make enough money. Roland Mann was saying this. He was saying when he was doing stuff, he said the difference between what he was doing at, say, because he was at Marvel and then he was at the one that was mixed up with Image. I can't remember.
He's at
Malibu, that's it. And he said, you know, he'd get a green light at Malibu because the book would sell. Yeah. But you don't get a green light at Marvel because the book will sell. You get a green light because the book will sell X number of millions or whatever it is in real term money. And of course that's scaled up now because somebody like Disney has hold of Marvel to the point where, well, they don't expect to make anywhere near enough money to make comics viable at all anyway. So why bother worrying about them? They're just out there to keep the IPs alive. So what you do is you let free anybody because you're not caring about what's going on. You just let it all go. And so everybody and their mum gets a go on X-Men or whatever, and nobody's respecting the source material. Nobody's respecting the past. But I mean that in effect is something that's going on at the moment as well. People not respecting the past, people not looking and seeing what mistakes have been made prior to us, and you can see that when we were talking about lettering and artwork and stuff like that. People are, you know, there's this big thing about AI at the moment, and it's the same old thing. What you don't think about why you should do it, you just do it. Right. And the whole point of this stuff is that it's made by people, it's drawn by people, it's created by people, and you can use all the tools that you like. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's got to be generated from a person, from a real person, and if you lose that, then you lose the whole point. It's not just about you lose the art or you lose the quality or you use this or that aspect of it. You lose the point.
Yeah. There's an inherent value with keeping a certain amount of all of it alive in more ways than one. And that's what has to be understood.
Well, that's exact. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not getting paid an awful lot for what I do. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just trying to just keep what I love going.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I don't get paid enough for it to be a proper wage. Let's put it that way.
Well, you know, I was inspired beyond my belief a few years back when a local guy here in Muskegon does hand painted signs. Literally still does signs painted by hand, and he somehow landed the job to paint signs for all of the local neighborhoods in Muskegon. You know, McLaughlin neighborhood or, you know, Simpson neighborhood or whatever. And he painted all of these signs, and they're all around town. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And they're all painted by hand. And I saw him at a diner not too long after he started doing it. And I complimented him on how good these signs were and how unique they were, because they weren't generated, you know, by a vinyl cutter. They were done by hand. And he said to me, well, as far as I'm concerned, hand-painted signs will not die out in my lifetime. Yeah, I just thought that was just so inspiring. Yep. So I just applied that to my notion of doing comics, and that's true. I mean, maybe it's not happening in the mainstream, but as long as there's some, you know, cantankerous old farts like us around, I think we'll still keep it alive.
Wow. It's going to be there, And then what you can do is you can inspire, without trying to sound arrogant about it, but you can inspire younger people to go, oh, right, this is still a thing. We can do this as well. You know, we can keep these things alive. And that's what you want to do. I don't think it's arrogant at all.
I think that's a matter of survival.
And you know, you have to have a little bit of that for some of these guys working, guys and girls, people working up at these companies, because they don't get paid, and they don't get paid a lot.
They're not getting paid at all.
Now they're not getting paid hardly at all. Yeah. I think the basic rule at Marvel and DC now, Warner's and Disney, is just don't lose us any serious money. You know, and it's so the comics to print are still so inexpensive. They were made to be cheap. You know, even when you jump up to the slicker paper, your your per unit cost on printing these books, even the amount of books that the low amount of books that Marvel and DC are printing now, probably between 20 and 75,000 per title. Their per unit cost is still really low, and they're still making huge profits. They just jack the price up. If the printing costs go up, they just bump the price up another buck. You know.
Oh man, look at the layout of that page.
Just the figures on this are amazing. The Sentinels, the proportions. They're back here on this page before. Sprite is in a hoodie, and we see her. The shot here from the bottom of the shoes up. Yeah. What a great proportion shot that is. That's not an easy thing to do. That's a sign of somebody who really knows the craft.
He just has fantastic angles, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And unusual dynamic angles. Yeah.
Yeah.
As it's almost as if he read the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way book.
Amazing.
I'm sure he did.
How smart is that? I can't imagine.
Yeah. Get that, and again.
Oh, but that shot of her right there in that corner, that's as clean. Like that reminds me of guys like Paul Smith and Alan Davis and just all these. Oh, John Byrne. Must be John Byrne. Yeah. That's what can I say?
Yeah, when I got these, I said I got to show these off because it's just such masterful work.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Well, that's classic Wolverine there.
Just look at that group. Yeah, that group shot is amazing.
Those 3 panels on the left hand side, the bottom 3 panels look. I think is it the same panel? Look at the line he's done on the right hand side. It looks like it's the same panel, just reproduced. Can you see it? See what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Especially the bridge area, they have that little piece uncolored.
Yeah. Just a little bit of digital tooling. That's all right.
At the 2 lines here for the eyes, and then he just went in and filled in a smaller circle.
He's cheating, you see. He's using his photocopier there.
Oh yeah, if you look at the,
he's cheating.
What a hack!
Throw it away. Yeah. He's cheating.
If you look at the pencil marks here on the shadow of the eye, they're exactly the same. So that's exactly what he did.
That's me done now. I'm not impressed anymore.
Well, that's it. I'm done. Yeah, I'm really going. I was going to like this, but
that's funny.
Yeah, I was going to say this is almost as good as Steranko, but it's not. He's just.
And so what? That page.
Now you're being really sarcastic.
Was probably like a morning, huh? He probably did that page.
Yeah.
One morning and went on to do the next page.
It's just a couple hours work, you know.
And then Randy, you turn over and show us that splash page, and I'm back again.
Yeah, boom.
Oh god!
Oh my god! Look at that! Look at that!
Oh man!
Oh dear!
Little Hellfire Club working there.
Oh
my
Jesus Christ!
That's that looks like the very Hogarth expired in that splash page. It looks like.
Here.
Just a dynamic,
It reminds me
Wolverine and Coloth.
Yeah, that page reminds me of that horror thing that Kirby did with when Stan Lee and Jack had got that. What do you call it? When they're those witches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Am I mistaken, or is that Sentinel at the bottom of the page below the Hellfire guy? Is he about to do a rings exercise in the gymnasium?
He's holding on to some rings there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next up, parallel bars.
Sentinel training is hard.
Into
the fight.
Big thick boots they got on. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's a classic Neil Adams Cyclops shot.
Oh yeah, with the eye beams. Oh god.
Very almost Cockrum too. In there, up the nose shot.
Lovely, isn't it?
It's great. Yeah, fantastic work.
Oh, is that Colossus doing the classic fastball special?
Yeah, right there. Wolverine flying, landed. Just great stuff.
Oh, Christ. Uh-oh, what's going on that last page there?
Storm right there.
Yeah, fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wolverine coming up to some other Wolverine. It looks like.
Yeah.
Batang.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh,
it's like a.
Oh, they're meeting evil counterparts of themselves here.
Oh wow.
Okay. Look at that. The top panel on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Both top
Look at-
panels, honestly.
And look at the bottom panel as well, where Cyclops is getting it. Look at that. Wow, that
Golly.
hurts.
Crap.
It's his entire face. Never mind his visor that he's hitting him with. Look, the entire face has got the beam. The bad guy.
You know what? Nowadays that would have been 4 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
See, this-
then
this-
it probably wouldn't have been in a Marvel comic like that because it's got a lot of masculine violence in it.
See, this couldn't be done masterfully unless it was traditional inking. That's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
how it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, Russ can ink it and I'll colour it.
There we go.
Oh. And I guess I'll just draw the borders on.
Yeah, you draw the borders. I'll do the lettering and the colouring, and Russ can ink it. Randy can publish it, and C can drool over it.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, look at that family shot. Just amazing.
Wow.
Look at that simple fold on that girl's top, on that panel, the bottom panel there that you just showed. The family, that one. Just that simple fold on her shoulder.
Yeah.
How good is that?
So you know, it takes somebody who really a real master to draw something so simplistic
Yeah.
and make it work perfect. It's just, you know.
And look at that lovely building there at the bottom as well. Just that little panel there.
Oh, yeah. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
That that van.
Yep.
Fantastic. And those cars, it's fantastic, isn't it?
And again, if he's selling these pages, somebody's really happy they bought that one.
Oh,
I imagine. Oh yeah.
For that panel right there. Just
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, man.
Ah, we get a web sling.
Oh, little Spidey.
I mean, we've spoken before about how comic books are maligned, but this is art, isn't it?
It is.
You know,
Oh,
do you know what I
isn't it
mean?
so?
It's just, look at that bottom panel there on the right hand page. Look at that. Yeah, the E bit. Look at that. Wow.
Just.
Yeah.
Boy.
The blast. Just the energy and the dynamics on that's incredible.
Is that Stan Lee that it looks like Stan Lee that Spidey's slapping, doesn't it? I don't know who it is.
It does.
Oh, just a touch, yeah. Very young Stan.
Might be somebody he knows.
Man,
Wow.
man.
Look at that top on the left hand page, top panel where that girl's coming along through from the side of the building. To the left, that one. To the left, your left. That's
Yeah,
it.
right there.
The way that her foot brings you into the panel as well as her head.
Oh yeah. Just
It stops you moving away, doesn't it? It just brings you right in. And she's moving, isn't she? You can tell she's actually walking quite fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the heel is not quite as much contact as the toe, which gives you the feeling of her in actual motion
Yes.
with
That-
just a touch of that.
all of this is motion, dynamics in motion, just incredible.
Oh,
There's not a dead or a dull panel in any of it, and even if it is, you get a tight shot like this that's so finely done
Yeah.
oh,
that you just
And
sit
that-
there in awe of it.
And that fantastic angle at the top of that page of Spider-Man looking down.
Yeah.
You're above him. He's high up, but you're above him looking down. It's fantastic.
yeah. And isn't that woman's side shadow? Are we talking Neil Adams' Strangle effect of
Yeah.
shading
Very-
that was only,
Yep.
that obviously Byrne can appreciate those sources. It's just, oh man.
That goes back to all of those great illustrators, Williamson and
Yeah.
all of those guys like that who can handle light and shadow.
Oh, nice touch of the evening
bit of-
time and the
Gray tone, yeah.
oh yeah.
Look at the way those balloons take you into the next panel.
Yeah, all the way
Yeah,
down,
and-
Z
yeah.
pattern.
Fabulous.
Not just that, but look at the reflection of the window, the
Yeah.
moon coming through on the bed.
And that
Expertly
bottom
done.
shot there, when you're high up at the bottom on the left there, you're high up in the ceiling looking down on them with all
Yep.
the books and everything. Look at that. You can see see 3 areas, can't you? You've got the guy sitting near the window, the girl coming through the door, and you've got the main shot. And there's three spaces. You understand what I mean? It's
Yeah.
fabulous. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant.
With the lettering again guiding you across.
Oh.
Just another great page here.
Well, another undershot of the jet there.
Yeah.
Oh, great
That right
ghost
there.
monster, whatever. It's
That
just,
panel right there is just amazing. Cyclops and Xavier.
yeah.
Crunch.
God.
Another great shot of Storm.
Yeah. And yet, what were we talking a second ago about the economy of spacing, where all this activity in the left-hand page, the scrunch and the detail and all this, and then the next page, the openness of that guy's face in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
Just the openness, the forehead and the brow of the nose and the lip, just open, no detail, but just
That in the conversation here, no panel borders.
oh yeah,
Just there. Yep.
oh, negative, positive space, just masterful. Oh,
Half face shot.
oh wait,
Yeah.
oh look, oh man.
Right into the gutter as well. It's fantastic, isn't
Yep.
it?
Oh. Now there's Byrne putting some little extra work into the rendering without getting too over. But
That FF there.
no, there, okay, no, right there, that great half shot, Professor X. I'm thinking about that great panel that Adams drew in the Sauron issue of X-Men.
Yeah.
Where the guy who becomes Sauron has got the energy crackling around him, and he's got that backlit center shading on his face. And you guys would know it if you saw it, but that's what Byrne's got going right there in that half face.
Not just that, but look at this bottom panel
look
and
at
how
the shading
he
there.
uses that blast as a light source here. Just amazingly well.
God.
Just incredible.
Oh my God, that's just.
Yeah,
You're right.
I'd
This
love to ink this, but you'd have to have an open deadline.
Oh God, yeah.
You'll get it when it's done.
Well, I'd like to ink it, but I don't think I'd touch it. I'd be too scared.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I would want like 5 copies of it on Blue Line. Why would even touch the originals?
Yeah.
Every turn, just like the Steranko book, just gets better and better. Look at this.
Jesus.
Just crazy stuff.
I can see this as a
That
film.
sideways
can't you?
panel.
Yeah.
Say what?
I can see this as a movie.
Oh yeah.
The angles and everything are just incredible, aren't they?
Oh,
Fantastic.
Better than film.
Yeah.
I was going to say it. All good stuff. And I think I agree with you, Randy, 1,000%. This is Byrne like he has never been before. This is better than anything he has done.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Imagine if this was an animated film that in Byrne's style.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That'd be the answer, wouldn't it? For a
that
movie.
would be wow.
No, still ruin it. It's a comic.
Probably would. Yep.
Okay.
So true.
But one can't help but fantasize about wanting to see other versions of it in other mediums. Oh, look at the
Done well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Just crazy stuff.
and look at the power he's got. Colossus punching from right to left in that thin panel.
Yep.
And that brings you right down to where Storm zaps from left to right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it just is echoed by Cyclops doing the same thing. And oh God, the layout and the composition is.
This is, I can be a little bit hot and cold on Byrne's art, to be honest. But this is having a direct effect on what I'm on me thinking about my own art.
Yeah,
it's having looking at the pencils, because something that I struggle with is like when you ink, you kind of lose some of the vibrancy of the pencils.
Yeah.
These pencils are very vibrant, and it's like it's almost like if you look at Mark Silvestri's work, his whole shtick is that everything's kind of like in fuzz, isn't it? There's so much going on in the detail, so much going on in the rendering, I should say. The page stays alive even in inks, and the danger with inking something like this would the blacks would be too heavy, and that's something I fight with my own work. And I'm looking at this thinking maybe I should just stop spotting the blacks and think think about sort of making more texture in the spot blacks rather than making it black. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
because you'd lose so much if you spot black this.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's some of the warmth and charm of penciling is that it maintains these different levels of grays and intensities, and
So
it's
true.
sometimes a shame to lose some of that with the starkness of black.
It's
Yep.
like
Don't forget, that nothing is totally black.
no, like I
Yeah.
say, if you look at Silvestri's work, but if you go back and look at Alcala's work, it's like it's got that,
Mhm.
you know, the texture, and it's like, I can feel a change coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wide awake.
And yet there are some things that you would really love to see as inks, and yet it's just unbelievable.
Oh no, it's a constant fight. I mean, it's like being sort of bipolar or something. It's
Yeah.
you know, you look at your work when they go, yeah, that's great, and then you look at it and you go, oh my god, I want this and I want that from myself.
Yes.
And you're constantly striving for that, and of course, it doesn't help when you look at people like this who are just so, so good.
What a contrast here between this urban setting, domestic, architecture, and that over to a space scene.
Oh.
That's the end of one book, start of the next. And the spacescape here, the cityscape, futuristic cityscape.
Aren't we on this right-hand page, the whole space thing? Aren't we kind of enjoying a little bit of Byrne's masterful work on Star-Lord, that one Marvel Preview Black and White magazine?
Oh yeah. I showed that off a couple of weeks ago, and Russ ran out and bought a copy immediately.
I got my copy on the way.
Yeah, I have mine buried somewhere here.
Because that Claremont Byrne Austin Star-Lord is just such classic material.
It's only British Post that's stopping it from getting to me sooner.
They're still on strike, Russ.
I haven't got a clue who's on strike. I don't know. I can't go on bloody strike.
No.
He's on first. Yeah.
Oh man, let's see what's the. Oh,
Look at that. Just look at that.
Jesus.
Oh my god! How do you ink that anyway? How do you even start?
Look at the water. Look at that water, the way that the rain's hitting it and everything. Look at that.
Yeah.
It looks like that the way water looks like when it gets rained on.
That's right.
Those millions of little puddles.
Job done.
No, but also too. Look at the spherical building with the angle building. That looks like Joe Johnston's sketchbook for the Star Wars films.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Back when they were doing that all pre construction sketching. Just
so that the rain, the streaking, that has to be what, an eraser come through there? Or?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I would think.
Yeah, you would have to. That would have to be that. Yep. You'd have to sit there with a ruler and probably a chiseled down eraser and swipe it.
And then when you ink it, you'd have to use whiteout.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. It's and that's a sign of how masterful Byrne is, that he knows the pencil hardness that he was going to draw that with that would react well to an eraser.
And again, he probably wouldn't have penciled this knowing if he knew it was going to be inked, because you can see the variation in tone that you were talking about.
Oh,
the hardness and this is a beautiful example of gray tone artwork.
It's almost it's uninkable.
Yeah,
it's a great advert for not inking it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gene Colan's work was a lot like that.
Gene Colan,
More ideas.
Yeah.
But see, if it had been too soft of a pencil, it would have smeared on the eraser, and too hard, he wouldn't have, it wouldn't have made a mark. So,
but the only problem with making a pencil book is because there's this sort of orthodoxy of it must be color.
it's ridiculous.
I'd love to do a pencil book or just an ink book, but it's difficult to get them.
That's probably a big fallacy up there at the main companies. They feel that these books have to be in color, and they don't. That's the big thing. That's why, and silly them, they're not even looking at sales numbers of the manga books that are out there. None of that stuff's in color.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And they're selling thousands of copies of that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I
They
could
could be
colour that
doing
on the
exact
pencils.
same thing.
It's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not the point, though, is it? It's
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
but I understand what you're saying. That building there, the angular building, reminds me of a Moai on Easter Island.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it does. Yeah, I
Yep.
can see it.
mouth, eyes.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
A real super
the-
Art Deco version.
And the circular building reminds me of the front of Discovery in 2001.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Does.
Sure.
But it's fabulous. You'd like that on your wall, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the rain and the streaking of the water reminds me of how much I cried when I couldn't get this book in my hands quick
There you
enough.
go.
That's
Look at this. You think that's something?
oh Jesus. Oh no.
Oh.
He's
Oh,
kicking
wait,
the
wait,
walls
that
out
face in
here.
the upper
Look at
left-hand
that.
corner. Holy shit. Look at that. Who is that? Who's the character?
I'm just
Banshee,
gonna love
huh?
this. This looks like Banshee here in Moria
Oh
McTaggart.
man, look at that.
Yeah, it's
Do you think-
definitely Banshee.
Do you think Marvel are seeing this?
Yeah,
I don't think
Why
they
don't
care. I really
Why don't.
don't.
They why don't they just ring him up and said it's coming out next week?
because they don't care.
They don't
Oh,
care.
You know.
Look at
They
but
can't
look at
see
all
the thousands of dollars that they would make by putting this out in print.
Thousands isn't enough. They don't care.
Probably tens of thousands. Yeah, they don't
hundreds
care.
of thousands.
They don't care.
But I mean,
Not
look
enough.
at
You know, and
that.
this is the material that you make the movies off of.
Yeah.
You know, it's right there.
Oh no, you don't.
Oh, but
Not
look-
anymore.
no.
No, they're too busy all going to galas at this point.
But look at these 2 pages are just the chest glow of the Sentinel there,
Yeah.
and then the shot of Banshees the next panel, that
Yep.
open mouth, shouting or whatever, and then
And that guy
Oh.
walking down the steps, Banshee
Yeah.
walking down the steps on the,
but
on the
that
previous
first
page.
that first left hand
that.
upper
Yeah.
corner of that
Yeah.
left page,
Yeah.
that's as good as a Tom Palmer inking.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Easily. Just
I didn't knock that back.
oh,
How
don't
did
go
that
on our
happen?
faces. Go back to the pages.
I could
I
look
didn't
at
knock
Scott
anything.
all
It just
day.
went back. Weird.
Oh man.
Target taken.
Oh man.
Matt Black Gaming, thanks for joining us. Morning, all. Merry Christmas, and hope I haven't missed
Great,
too
Matt,
much.
you
Oh,
missed a lot, but that's
we're
okay.
archived. Yeah, you missed a lot,
You
but
can
we're over
rewatch
on
it.
we're over on the Indie Comics Network, archived over there. So I think manga is not only hot because of the story, not the art. I'm currently reading Attack on Titan Omnibus. It's okay, but definitely not great. Well, the thing with Attack on Titan, I think, is the imagination level of the property. There's a lot of, from what I understand, there's a lot of disrespect to the artist that does Attack on Titan for not being as professional as he's supposed to be. Over in
there
Japan.
is.
He doesn't
it
have a
was
lot of
turned down a lot
appreciation.
because of the art.
Yeah.
It was turned down a lot because of the art. Yeah.
Oh,
But all you got to do is watch even one of the animes and sit there and go, "See, there's a level of imagination here that you're not seeing, hardly anywhere
Yeah.
else. It's just a masterful work." And if you get to watch the live action 2-part Attack on Titan, it's actually got an ending to it. It's amazing. Just incredible. Wow. They go through and they explain everything. Look at that. All the gray tones here. Again, he knew there's no sense in even thinking that this is ever
Look
going
at
to
that
be
rain again on the top left.
I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna love this.
oh,
Bokum.
Look at the white figure
Yeah.
here up against all of the stark solid blacks.
God.
Bakum.
Oh. Okay, now
Those,
who,
I'd like to know why what led his train of thought into doing this. Those whites against the blacks and the
I don't know.
why make those decisions,
He just
Oh,
does.
just
I don't think he
art-
overthinks it. I
artful
think he
of
just
the-
does it.
Because he's a
Right,
yeah.
genius.
It's instinctual at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done so many thousands of pages, millions of pages probably at this point.
That's why I have That's why I have some issues with sometimes when we or when other people, when books analyze things like, oh, look at that white space, look at those adjunctive angles, and look at the way this works, and that follows this, and it pushes this out, and it makes you read further. It's like these guys were just doing it.
Yeah.
They weren't applying an equation. They just did it. They just it came out. Those equations, those guides, those views on those analyses about how it works. Yes, they're correct. Those things are correct, but they didn't use those guides or that analysis to make it work. It just happened.
Well, so much of this stuff is almost on the unconscious level.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think
absolutely.
I think it's called talent. These Sentinel guys, I know they're very big, but they're a bit rude, aren't they? They don't knock on the door. They come through the roof, don't they? You know,
rude.
They see a wall and they go through it. That's what it is. Just like Sprite. Sprite doesn't open any doors. She just
he doesn't wreck everywhere, does he?
No.
Oh yeah, they're just terribly rude. Terribly rude.
Terribly rude.
Oh, quick, Brandy, quick, Rin, another page.
All right, I was just somebody keeps dinging. So, here we go. Sentinels are attacking.
Look at that Sentinel.
Actually went through and inked that solid black there.
Oh,
wow.
Put it in silhouette. He probably put it in silhouette so that he could add the white detail here.
Well, wouldn't doubt. Oh, well, look at the rendering to the left-hand page.
Yeah, it's clever how he split that panel, isn't it? And him looking at whatever it is looking at, and the way that line goes through creates a different panel.
Yep.
And he's looking,
But look at the realism and detail here on these faces.
Yeah.
Just amazing. And to see that, it would probably take away some of that.
Yeah. Hey, Mitch, you were asking about those decision makings. I want to address that a little bit with you because I understand exactly what you're thinking when you say it, because I think to myself the same thing when I look at this stuff, and it's just after a while you just have to chalk it up to instinctual. I can't imagine a conscious mind making those weighed decisions every panel Mitch, still there?
See.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See Michael Lanning. Yeah.
Mitch ain't here.
Mitch ain't here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mitch ain't here.
Mitch had to step out. Mitch isn't here for this episode.
Just go back a page, Randy, please. I was
just going to say, look at that head.
I know. you know that panel, that piece where it's been coloured in or inked in or whatever, which ruins it. It reminds me of a few years ago. We had some friends. We're not friends now, but we had some friends, and I did some drawings of Hatch, and they got listen,
casting friends aside.
Listen. When we went round again, I'd given them these drawings of Hatch, and they'd had their grandchildren crayon colour them in.
Oh no!
Yeah, and that reminds me of that.
Oh, no kidding!
And I think
you never spoke to them again.
Well, not because of that, but
but that had to be a turning point.
Yeah, come on.
It didn't help.
It didn't help.
Oh
no, I don't put friends aside, Russ. I've not got any.
No, really? Good boy,
good
boy. Sigma male, like it.
This isn't Byrne anymore. This is Byrne Plus.
Yeah. This is just so much more than what he used to do. That's what I'm saying. It's like I understand he could well have a schedule for this, but there's a lot of love and attention put into this.
Yeah,
he hasn't just stopped and gone, all right, that's enough for today, guys. Like, no, there's love in this.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yep. Very much so.
I wonder if he's thinking if Marvel published this, he'd get you know, he probably got a lot of money for doing it. But I wonder if he's thinking, I'll get more for selling bootleg art than I would if I turned it over for Marvel.
Sadly, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
Probably could.
I mean, well, he's going to be able to sell each page for a couple of grand, isn't he?
Yeah.
Minimum?
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Well,
I think it's going to go a lot higher than that.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. A couple of grand minimum. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's not going to go any
Oh,
lower than that. Is it?
absolutely.
Well, I'm
You
sure
know,
he's selling
it's like-
enough to be able to pay to be able to do this, to be
Yes.
able to sit there and actually do a book like this. It had his original art has to be what's keeping him afloat.
Those heritage original art auctions have been jumping lately, and for prime burn like this,
Oh,
maybe 10, 15 grand.
Yeah.
maybe,
I
a
could
piece.
imagine it going for
Yeah.
that kind of amount. The more exciting pages. Not that you could pick out any that are dull, but
No.
yeah, the more exciting, definitely 15K.
Look at that truck
Unfrickin' believable.
car right there. I'm stepping out
And then for me, I was going to say the
from
beauty of that
inside.
figure stepping out of the Jeep door, but then also just the simplicity of that back of the seat and the wrinkles on the
Yeah.
jacket. Just that so simplistic.
Just
in its
enough,
own
isn't it?
way.
It's just wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, now let me ask everybody here. Is that do you
Only the
believe-
ones.
What's that?
Only the ones. Never again. Oh, sorry. What question was that?
Oh, hang on. Oh, you're going to kill me long distance. Okay. How many of us think that Byrne drew this on the page, same size, or do you think he thumbnailed it first and enlarged it and did tracings?
I don't know, but I'd say he drew it on the page. I think
so?
he's that good. He doesn't need to do thumbnails.
Oh no, I bet he worked off of thumbnails. I don't know if he put them on the original page or not. Or just sat there and did it.
Jesus, I can't.
I think whatever process he used to use, he probably continues to use.
Yeah.
So if he was a thumbnail kind of artist, he probably still does it. As for, I mean, it depends on what kind of thumbnails you do, doesn't it? I mean, I really have done thumbnails, so just like the size of a cigarette packet kind of thing. I wouldn't bother blowing them up. You know, I've thumbnailed it. I can see what I need to do. I can proportionate that. I don't need to. But if you're thumbnailing about A5, then maybe that's worth blowing up and sticking on the light box.
Well, a lot of
It
them
just-
do preliminaries. With the preliminaries, they'll do maybe an 8x11 page
Mhm.
and put it together, and then blow that up, and then put it on a light box, and flesh it out from there. But and that might have been a process he did at one time. But here, this kind of, I'm thinking like Jack Kirby shapes almost.
Yeah.
I could see
just
that.
putting just putting the shapes in. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, see, I suppose maybe at his stage, 50 years professional or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose that he probably could just draw straight onto the page and not worry about, is it too much detail?
Well, again, it's like, it depends on your process, doesn't it? If you sit down, you put a piece of layout paper down at A3 and you sketch out roughly what you want to do, even if it only takes a couple of minutes, and then you lay your paper over the top of it on your light box. It's there's so many different ways of doing it, isn't there?
Yeah.
he could be doing it in a way like the layouts like that while writing it, because he's also, if he's writing it also, he might be trying to figure that out at the same time.
Very probable. I must say, it's like when you're writing it yourself, because you are. I mean, I know there are lots of writers that are visually blessed. Okay, as far as they can see it as well as write it. But when you're first an artist and then you write your own stuff, you definitely write in a slightly different way.
Right.
You're coming at it from a different kind of a slightly different direction.
Yeah, and of course, so much of this, and of course, so much of his writing of this could very well have been after the fact.
Yeah.
Thinking rough terms of story as he's doing visuals. But to me, I have to admit, I'm not too proud to say I am terribly intimidated by the cleanliness of these pages.
Oh golly,
I just
that's an understatement. That's an understatement for me. Intimidated, no, freaking mortified.
just the idea of doing all these gray tones, and even though, like on that Sentinel's hand in the left-hand page,
Yeah.
the kids, the right there by your thumb, Brandy, where it says, or there's an X in the palm,
Yeah.
and yet it's been filled in gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. To me, it says, okay, at one point he put the X there to indicate I want to fill that in gray later. So I can see using a bridge on the drawing board or a covering piece of paper that he decided to add the gray tones later. It wasn't drawing them right as he was taking the lines down.
Yep.
But
I'm
Yeah.
sure
still,
you're
the
right.
idea of putting this much work of gray tones and lines and all this in, and not having it be one big mud puddle by the time I would be done with it, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's hard enough just inking over the top and not getting grubby.
Oh,
But you can imagine the graphite from pencil all over the place.
These guys that used to do that all the time. Man,
Yeah, it's definitely a testament to his workflow. Like, get the lines in and then come back and do the shading.
Oh yeah.
Look
Look at that animated car.
Crap.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Again, mortified is still is not big enough word.
Look at that. That entire page is just nothing but beautiful.
Oh.
Look at that. Side of the Sentinel head here. Wolverine screaming. Just amazing. Jumping.
Man,
Slicing at the Sentinel.
Jesus. Truth to tell, though, as much as we're admiring the beauty of the gray tones, I really, really wish Terry Austin could get his hands on this stuff. I'd love to see what he would do.
Yeah.
That would just be too
Yeah, I
good.
mean, if you had, we were saying it's uninkable. If you had an inker who was worthy of it, it could be a very
Palmer.
interesting. Yeah.
You'd have to get somebody of that caliber. Easy. Palmer or Austin.
Oh,
Ready? It just keeps getting better.
See, with those faces, the Neil Adams feel.
Yeah.
I remember Neil talking about those faces. I thought a lot of people think bone structure when doing the faces, but he also added that fleshy fat part, like around the cheeks and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see that really coming out here.
Yep.
And Burgess.
It's everybody out there who's watching this who might be thinking, "Oh, I can do this." All right, talking heads. All right, talking heads. Pace within a story where there's a quiet part. Okay. And it's basically interaction between the characters rather than thumping each other or laser guns or robots or whatever.
Right.
Take a look at this page, especially the right-hand page.
Both of these
And
pages, really.
The different angles involved and how it makes it interesting.
Yep.
You want to read this and you know that it's quite a quiet moment, but you want to find out what's going on because you've got great emotion on the faces of the characters. But more from a story flow perspective, fantastic angles and scene setting, and knowing when to put a background in, when not to put a background in. Okay, all these things, they all add up to fantastic storytelling.
And doesn't it provide the absolute necessary balance to all the action we just saw on that page earlier?
Yeah. But just the mechanics. We were talking about the analysis of how they put these pages together. The mechanics of these two pages. Okay, to keep your visual interest, even though there are only people talking to each other. So no repeats, no cut and paste. Okay, no same angle right the way through, dull as dishwater. Okay, it's all there. Fantastic. This is a lesson in itself. Just these two pages.
Well, that third panel on the left-hand side with the three heads, and that right there is brilliant because it's an arrow. It's using the different sizes of those people. He points the arrow to the next panel.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
That's Wally Wood there. That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, the beauty of those older masters that just did this stuff every day.
Yeah, and this page too, you're literally working off of a Z pattern
Yeah.
and out. Yep.
I think that's a good lesson for artists to learn. What Russ was saying about these, this is like a breather, isn't it? These 2 pages are a breather because of all the action. And I think that artists should look at, this is when they say draw from life, they should practice or look at doing stuff like this, because it's easier to draw, to me, the superhero than it is to draw this.
Oh,
These real people.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can do this, like John Byrne obviously can, you should be able to do the other. But people want to go into the action, don't they? But they should learn to draw from life and stick a silly costume on a person.
That's why it's important to look at your style. Okay, so style is what grows out of you working out how everything works. Okay, so once you understand anatomy and scene creation, perspective, all these things, you can layer your style on top. And some people's styles can go a bit more extreme than others, but the way to test that style is 2 pages like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The real Mark.
It's okay to have this super skinny Spider-Man with an elongated neck, okay, doing some wacky thing out in the middle of the city streets, you know, like swinging around and going, wow, that's really fantastic. Look at the style on that. It's great. Okay, now draw Peter Parker and Mary Jane in a quiet moment with Aunt May.
Yeah. Well, this
and if the style works, then it works.
This is realistic, isn't it? That's why it's so good, because this is real. These people are real. The Sentinel coming through the roof isn't real.
Right.
But what?
True mark of masterfulness. A true mark of a master is right in these 2 pages.
But there's people like for instance, as a complete side to this, look at somebody like Mike Mignola doing the same scene. Okay, he has an extreme style compared to Byrne's style. Byrne's is more sort of like silver Bronze Age kind of. A little bit of realism to it. You can follow it. It's got that sort of solidity of the real world about it. Mignola's hasn't. And yet when he applies himself to pages like this, it still works. Okay? And that's because he understands storytelling and he understands the basics. He hasn't just gone, oh, my style is everything. Okay?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying about a genius style like Byrne or Mignola. Okay? The reason that they work, okay, and how they work is because of the way they apply themselves in these quiet moments. If the quiet moments work, your style works. If they don't, if they're all jumbled and weird and it looks like weird cubist people talking to each other, then it doesn't work. So nice style or not. Because at the end of the day, you've got to tell stories with it.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Right. If you think back to the old Marvel tryout book, if you remember that was mostly domestic scenes, people talking to each other, just to see how somebody would handle that kind of dynamics.
Well, when
necessary.
when I was speaking to Marvel submissions in the 90s, that was what they were saying to me. They were saying, right, we need quiet moments. They got me to do an X-Men. I still have the pages. They got me to do an X-Men, and so much of it was just the characters interacting. There were no fights. Yeah, there was nothing going on. Okay, it was just the interplay of the characters, and that's what they wanted to see.
Right. Yeah. Just like you said, that's how your style comes through.
Oh.
Well, that's how you know your style works.
Yeah.
Classic Byrne effect. Classic.
Xavier in the astral plane here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Classic Byrne outline. Amazing.
Colossus grabs an arm of a sentinel, takes it right off.
Rippity rip.
Rippity rip.
Just amazing. The Xavier over here, that wide-eyed Xavier profile. Yeah. Just to think that he took that and outlined his lines. There's there's just an integrity. There's a liveliness to it. That's amazing.
Oh, it is.
Enough said.
Yeah. I mean, there's just it's breathtaking.
Car being taken out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
Oh,
great
perspective on the
perspective shot.
Sentinels. Oh man.
That half shaded Wolverine face at the bottom there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just amazing. And Xavier's smiling.
Oh,
Happy
Merry Christmas.
Well, the Sentinels have wrecked everything. They've got nothing to finish off, so they're leaving.
Yeah. They took out the house along with them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And all the
thank
mince
you very
pies.
much. Wow. Oh. Frickin'. Oh man.
Hellfire Club there.
That lovely use of space around the aircraft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. And
That water again. Look at that water.
Oh Jesus. Man, oh man. And the solidity of the shading of what's his face in the bottom.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
That's back in the Joe Rubinstein inking period of Byrne
Yeah.
during the Captain America he did.
Yeah.
That has that solidity to it.
That's just a great shot there.
Oh yeah. Like jeez. Oh.
You can imagine Steranko doing that splash page, can't you?
Oh yes.
Easy.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
It's just. You were right, Randy. This is amazing. It's
Yeah.
just incredible stuff.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. There's that Blackbird again. Amazing. Coming down for a landing. Even that. Look at the power here.
Oh man.
And isn't it great that sound effect behind that
That's a
panel as well?
Macau.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
That's a Macau.
Not another
saw a
Macau.
purple Macau. Yeah.
Oh.
Just the tightness of all of this. Look at that perspective on the buildings and everything. Just amazing stuff.
See, that's why I was asking a bit ago about laying this out on the page versus thumbnailing it out first, or at least preliminarying it out in terms of, having all this work at a final stage. Part of my brain can't seem to grasp the notion of starting out with a blank piece of Bristol and doing very little other than just finish it off as you go. I just can't seem to.
I would imagine he sat down and wrote every issue out, laid it out, thumbnail, at least with a rough thumbnail, and then sat here and did the finals. Yeah. And look at the layout here, the ship flying, bringing you here over and then down.
Oh,
Just some beautiful composition there.
Jesus.
And then this panel here is so static. It's just amazing.
God,
And again, it looked like he did a little bit of inking work here.
Yeah.
Yeah, something going
Went
on
through and
there.
filled some of that in, or at least did that panel.
I feel like I want to get a bowl of cereal and sit in front of some cartoons when I'm seeing this stuff. It's just,
Isn't that, yeah.
oh Christ Almighty!
I'm gonna dig up the oldest essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Nice.
look at the variety of facial expressions he's got going in these two pages.
That goofy look.
Over there, a
Having
little
a
bit
fun-
of scowl up in that middle panel.
Yeah.
A little bit of surprise turning on the left, and
That kid there should be saying, "I am the greatest."
That would have been a splash page nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at the detail on that urban setting. Just beautifully done.
Yeah.
Here,
There's
here as well.
yeah.
All this detail here as the kitchen is cutting loose.
And a bit of carry at the bottom with all the knives heading their way.
Yeah.
oh God, yes.
nowadays there would have been a door just behind that kitchen unit that would have been unopenable.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mm.
Man,
Enter the villain,
Magneto.
that menace. Whoop. Sorry. Look at that look of menace.
Oh, yeah,
No
but I
face.
love me some Cap in that left panel, man. Oh, I love that. Oh, but look at the shade. Yeah, just love nice Cap America. I love Bird's Cap area.
Yeah.
But look at the nice center shading on Magneto again on that right-hand page. Man,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It looks like Judge Dredd from the back, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
I just, you know what? I just love all this. It's kept all the costumes and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Just that reflection on his helmet, right? I mean,
Yeah.
jeez.
But most importantly, again, we have a little panel of a chaotic kitchen working here, and this is detailed like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
It's just incredibly done.
Just, little bits of dishes and silverware and
So many touches. Yeah.
potatoes.
Is this Jean Grey's house? Is that what that's what's going on?
taters,
I honestly haven't read this.
Taters.
So taters.
taters,
Taters and spoons.
taters.
Oh,
And again, this it's so detailed. It's so well done, but it's shapes. It's just I didn't know that's so stupid. It is shapes, but it I don't know.
well, everything that's ever drawn solidly always starts with basic shapes, and if you don't maintain that strength of the basic shape, the drawing falls apart.
Look at that.
That's right. Yeah.
Bottom panel there. That Stan Lee creeping in. Keep talking, Buckethead.
I only need one clear shot.
It's great the way you said about that kitchen shot there, the way he goes back to that shot, because he left us with the knives heading towards them, didn't in the previous, didn't they?
Yeah.
And we go to this scene, right? So you think, oh shit, look at this, and then we cut to, Cap on the screen and all that, and then we get reminded of where we were,
Right.
bam, and then we're back again. It's incredible.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. that Cyclops panel on the left hand side.
That bottom left, that bottom left.
Yeah,
panel is
my gosh.
real Kirby, isn't it? All that debris flying about. Wow.
That in itself is a masterpiece. Just that panel alone is a masterpiece.
Oh.
Should do a little research and find out how much these pages are going for.
Don't
Glenn is probably right.
do it.
Doing this to sell the
Don't
originals.
do it.
Well, no.
Colossus. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Fishing boat.
Put. I just love that.
Look how clean that face is near your fingers, Randy, on that right hand pet. That there. Look how clean that face is, and those
Beautiful.
That smock thing, whatever it is, he's got that hoodie he's got on.
Poncho. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poncho hoodie.
Wow.
Yep.
Now that on the right hand panel, the second right there, that panel, that horizontal panel, with those ships and the buildings and things, that could very well just be the line art for one of those idyllic watercolor paintings you see every so often.
Yeah.
That could very well just be the basis for something like that. And yet,
solid love right there.
Yeah.
You can't help but see it.
I do have a couple of prices if you're interested.
No.
You can ballpark it.
Well, they're definitely over 2,000. Definitely over 2,000.
Yeah.
And those are
We're
not
talking
even pages that look like this. These are
10 to 12.
No, they're
more
not
like
that
10 to
high.
12.
But there's
They're
only
there.
a couple of them over there right now. But it's like 25, 3,000.
Oh, I think we're talking a minimum base of 8,000 easily.
Yeah, well, no, well, that's the thing. These pages aren't. It's not like this page here. This it's from ELSEWHEN, but they're. I hate to say simpler pages because that's not really
These
thing,
pages
right?
are probably these pages on this volume are probably long gone. This is the first volume.
Oh yeah,
There's
are
4 other
probably-
volumes than this, not counting what he's still posting.
Yeah.
So
It's just, the quieter pages, at least 8,000. And then some of the more dynamic ones, 15, 20,000. Oh, man. Speaking of dynamic, look at that shot of Storm.
perspective here. You can see he's just loving it. He's just having fun. Right there
Jesus
on the
Christ.
floor. Just love. Just love right there. That even that profile is amazing.
Yeah. Sort of profiles seem to be the hardest thing to get right when it comes to a face, because I have seen so many profiles where they just come up short. Like the back of the head looks flat. This is just.
That comes down to people studying anatomy.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line. It's like most. I mean, he gets away with that one of Professor X there, just simply because he can draw so well. But most of the time, from what I see from a lot of naive artists, is that when they put a profile in, it's very flat. There's no angle. It's like completely profiled. So it's almost like a 2D cutout of the side of a head.
Right.
Okay. And that's almost not the way the eye likes it.
Yes.
They want to see just a little bit of tilt. You can have a profile with just a little bit of tilt, or alternatively, you can just draw as well as John Byrne. But it's you can see the difference between a profile here, like that particular one of Professor X, and you can go and look at a myriad of comic books, even comic book stuff done by mainstream comic artists, and you can look at the profiles and think, no, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's because there's no. It's because what happens is when you flatten it so much, the life is removed.
Oh yeah. And
it's almost like they forget there's another side.
Yeah.
And even if you don't tilt it at all, just add little earmark and little landmarks of dimension to it.
I tell you, I mean, I've got an example here if you want to see one. Where is it?
Because even here on this profile here, you still see a little bit of a turn around that brow.
Yeah.
You still see it coming around. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. And the back, the right side of his jaw behind the run of his neck. Just a little touch like that gives you
look. So you can have a profile and you can still have form to it without it being flat.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. There are ways to do it. I mean, it's very rare that I will do a complete. That is a full side on profile. There, it's rare that I'll do that because I don't think they work particularly well most of the time.
No.
But if you get it, all you need to do is just know where all the elements are supposed to be. It's amazing how that kind of works quite well.
No, can we go back to that? Let me point out to you the things that I see with what you've done there. Ross, can we go back to that?
Oh, I pulled it off.
Hold on. I'll open it up again. It's not really why we're here, but yeah.
No, but still, it just in terms of spying this stuff, citing it.
There you go.
Knock that up here.
You got it, Randy? You want me to put it on?
I got it.
Okay. All right. Now here's what I'm seeing. One, little cues of dimensionality. The tongue sitting behind the teeth and the teeth sitting behind the lips. So you've got little tiny 3 layers there. The beard obviously having a roundness going from top to bottom and then front to back. And the arm of the glasses sitting behind the ear and coming back out behind the back of the ear. And then the arch of the glasses sitting on the arch of the nose. And the lens of the glass sitting in front of the eyebrows. Little touches like that gives you a dimensionality that you can latch onto visually and believe it and have it be something that's solid versus everything.
There are tiny things that you can. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind. But there are tiny things you can do to take away the flat essence. And like, if you look at what Byrne's doing there's no color there. There's no inks. That's just his pencils, and you can see the 3-dimensionality of the. So it's a profile. You're looking side on, almost like a 2D, but it's still reaching towards you. His ear is reaching towards you, the side of his face, and there's so many lessons to be taken from that to artists You know, just I mean, that's a master at work there. I brought mine up just to show that it, you know, even us lesser mortals can, you know, give it a decent crack.
Right.
But that's, I mean, that's just amazing stuff. And you go find lots of the artists that we talk about on here. Okay, like, you know, like Buscema and Steranko and what have you, and you can go and see what they understand, how they understand form, and why they're, you know, if they do a profile, it isn't flat. And
right.
It's so easy to fall into that. So easy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, a lot of that, and I think a lot of that contributes to some of these how-to books where they're like, okay, draw the circle, then draw the jaw, and everything. It's like, oh, it's not a skull is not a perfect circle.
No. And then what people are doing is they're following the how-to books instead of going and drawing people.
Yes, absolutely.
And obviously, it's not that easy to go. You know, finding yourself a life study class when you're up against it and you've got pages to do. That's not the easiest thing to do. You can't expend that time, but it is about observation.
I was going to say a life study class, a real life study class in college anymore is rare. Rare.
I mean, I did those back in the day when I was at art college. So I do, you know, I haven't done one in quite some time. But they are invaluable. But it's not just about like a specific lesson. It's just looking around. Yes, it's good to have the circles. It's good to have the how-to books. They're shorthand. Okay, they're just shorthand for you understanding how form works.
There are websites, however, like quickposes.com, lineofaction.com, where they give you models that you run through.
Yeah.
You know, typically for gesture
But
drawing.
the problem is a lot of artists will just whip them off and trace them.
Yeah, well,
too true.
Artists with quotes. Yeah, no.
No.
Golly.
Here we go.
Real quick, just the beauty of Magneto's eyes through his mask in that bottom panel.
Yeah.
Look
at the expression just in an eye.
Yeah.
That's just really, really good. You know, and you've got to remember all these things, like the comic book art. Okay, you can have a great colorist put in form. If your colorist understands, they're not just laying down colors. They understand form, and they understand anatomy, and they understand expression. They can help that image. The inker can do a good job on it. Okay, but at the bottom part of it, at the very base of it, it's just lines. Okay, because it's comic books, and to be able to portray that kind of emotion in just simply a few lines, that's so nice.
And the absolute life and animation in Magneto's hand.
Yeah.
Where all the fingers aren't exactly parallel. They got a little twist to each one.
And the depth, I mean, just you can feel the depth in it. You feel the foreshortening. It's just he doesn't even have anything to guide you other than that hand, and you can feel that hand is stretching out.
And yet a little touch of history. Magneto's hand is the classic villain's hand. Because go back to the Lord of the Rings with Christopher Lee as Saruman, and the way his hand is posed above the palantir, the sphere. Yeah. You'll see how Christopher Lee gave him that kind of Dracula hand.
Yeah,
you know, just that little bit of twist of evil to the knuckles. It's just perfect.
I wonder why Christopher Lee would give him a Dracula hand.
You get a Dracula hand.
That's enough of that. Pete, no, stop it.
Oh, absolutely love it.
Something that strikes me, just all the art, but very much these two pages has just come out. How solid, everything is. How three-dimensional everything is. It just, I mean, those pages on that page on the right-hand side with the middle panel with that one.
Storm is down. Magneto comes over.
The two images, the two people, one in front of the other. How really three-dimensional that is.
Right.
And the subtle emotion on Magneto's face as he quiddles, as he takes his helmet off in the next panel.
Yeah, that panel. Yeah, that's a standout. Yeah, definitely.
And then Wolverine comes and ruins the moment. Oh,
Wolverine getting his wish.
Wolverine.
One clean shot. That's all he wanted.
Oh,
but he takes a few.
Oh, well, hold on. We've just gone up a gear.
Oh my God! Look at that bottom face.
Look at that page.
That is at least Adam's quality right there.
Who
Oh,
said
yeah.
Byrne
Yeah.
Plus? Because that's exactly
Right there.
what we're seeing here. Good Lord.
This is one of those $25,000 pages. Right
Yeah,
there.
look
Probably.
at that face at the
Oh, yeah.
bottom.
Let's look at the transition of panels. Just everything on this is amazing.
That's one of those things that's paid for your grandkids' college.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is.
You had collectors literally snapping their checkbooks in half to get to this one.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was an auctioned page.
Oh yeah, easily.
Hardcore.
Easily. That's
Yep.
one of those things that. But then the next page, look at the that, and then the really Cyclops just goes nuts with his beam.
Beautiful.
And look at that really severe upward lighting on that last panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my God, is that supposed to be Magneto in that last panel?
He's tore up.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Jesus! Oh my God! And there's how many of these volumes already?
There's
Five,
five
huh?
apparently.
Holy crap!
Even as Magneto himself begins to imagine his defeat, we are about to see a demonstration of what is said to pave the road to hell.
Oh,
Boom.
oh, Maddox, the multiple man. There he is.
Jamie
Oh.
Maddox. There he is. Wonder if that character would have ever been created if it wasn't for the Impossibles and Multi-Man.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, great establishing shot of that spherical building, and then Magneto bringing them all. Man,
He screwed it up.
oh,
He's giving me the chance, the young fool. Giving me the
As
chance.
much as I made that comment about it's a comic, it doesn't want to be a film. What I find fascinating is the interplay between comics and films from a scene setting perspective. So this may not even exist if we hadn't have had 50 years of 40 years of Star Wars and Star Trek and all other kind of stuff.
oh, sure.
Yeah,
and then
Sure.
no doubt that the people that are making the modern films are they've looked at comics and they've looked at other art in the past, and the way that it all kind of knocks off each other and inspires the other disciplines.
Yeah.
Just you can
Yeah.
see it. It's fabulous.
That building, the building there with
Yeah.
the round top. I'm getting. I don't know the guy's name, but Akira line work. on
Yeah, a
that.
little bit of that.
Oh,
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Is it
Well,
Katsuhiro
when
or somebody?
you think about the impact that different parts of the media around the world for centuries has had, I mean, when you
Yeah.
look at the comics and the comic strips that were occurring before there was movies or TV, everything looked like it was on a stage, a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only real
Vaudeville.
modern thing, or
Yep.
it was like something in a dream.
Yeah.
But there was, you didn't get into actual sequential storytelling until you started seeing actual examples of it being produced, either
Damn.
through the early cinescopes or the or the early comics and comic books.
I think you see it on pyramid walls.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
there
not.
we go,
it's-
yeah.
I mean, there's one thing having individual pictures, one after the other, telling a story. It's another thing to have sequential art. That they're not quite the same thing. And I understand, like, obviously, cave paintings is the oldest form of sequential art. I'm on board with all that. But I do see what Scott's saying about, you see the development of photography and film in the the late 1800s, and that's roughly when we start seeing the first kind of sequential art as well.
Yeah.
Back then,
Yeah.
so that it kind of all develops along the same lines of suddenly things aren't static anymore; things are moving, because we all know that comics move.
Right.
They don't in reality, but when you're reading them, they move. Okay, they're like
Yeah,
a moving picture, and it's seeing that interplay between the different disciplines and mediums, and how they drive each other. I mean, this is
Oh yeah.
this is some of the best comic strip work I've seen ever. To
Yes,
be brutally
yeah.
honest with you, I mean, it's like so up there. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not being it's just such a crime that it's not out there being like, why can't I buy this?
It's a travesty. It's a travesty. That's what it is. Yep.
You know, and I'm not a big Byrne fan. I'm not. His art, it's like I say, I can be a bit hot and cold on it. Okay, but this is absolutely blowing me away. It's fantastic.
It's stunning, absolutely stunning. I would put this right next to the Neil Adams Ali Superman volume any day of the week.
Yeah. Yep.
It's as powerful as the
Yes, I agree.
storytelling is in that.
Yep.
It's still just as one. Was there any more left in that? Was that the last of the?
Yeah, there's another issue in there,
Oh, okay.
Look at
but
that.
we're walking on to the 2-hour mark.
We'll have to do another issue.
Hey,
Pretty quick.
Randy, can you show us another one, please?
Got another
Oh,
whole another book.
That's for another time. Curb your enthusiasm, Scott.
oh, I know. Tell us another story. Tell us another story.
Just imagine though, next week Scott won't be able to make it because he'll make some excuse and he'll miss it.
Yeah. Put a bet on now. Let's get
We'll
the
see.
thing going.
Oh,
They go up to Magneto's satellite,
Oh.
and in the end, Magneto says, "Well, screw you all," and he just tears the satellite apart.
Oh.
Home is where the hurt
That's such a
is.
Magneto thing to do.
No, see, I'm torn. Should I keep my reputation up or should I enjoy these Byrne books? I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
you know, you've got
I
to
don't
It's
enjoy
your
the burn,
decision, isn't it?
bud. Enjoy the burn.
We'll be here.
Oh my
You
god!
know,
Look at that
you
crazed
see-
look she had on her face. Just that right there. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Oh,
That's like that's just
She
like
needs a
somebody-
coffee.
oh, that's like when I told Susie we can't go out that one night. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
AC, that looks like your Nita when she's starting the show.
Yeah, maybe. I can't answer because she's in the other room. Then
I can't possibly comment.
Oh,
I don't see what
Man.
you mean there, Glenn. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right?
Well, you know better than I do, so maybe I'm wrong.
I may have to start out the new year on another plan of action.
Well,
Oh
as
my
your job.
god! No, real quick, Randy.
Yes.
Randy. Could you take that Phoenix issue and just do a real quick flip? Flip the page just a little bit. Just
Don't do it, Randy. Make him come back next week.
don't turn them, flip them.
Are we going to go through this next?
No, 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 just
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. Look.
Oh no, don't do that! Don't do that!
Look at what you're going to miss.
Don't-
That's enough, Randy.
Oh,
That's enough.
don't open it
Make
up.
him come
Oh my
back for
God.
more.
That's it. I've just turned religious. That's all there is to it.
Just
God bless the Byrne.
Oh. Now, which volume is it we just looked at? Is that
Volume
number
one. Yep.
That's number one.
That's number one. That's number two. If you can,
Now
It's important.
the one we just looked at supposedly picks up where his last issue was.
Nope. It picks up at 136 right after the Dark Phoenix saga. That's what this says here. It
Oh,
says,
okay.
All right.
what if Jean Grey had survived the Dark Phoenix saga?
So none of that 90s stuff ever happened.
None of that 90s stuff. Yep.
Oh,
Magneto's still a villain, and the X-Men Sprite, Kitty Pryde is still Sprite in this.
oh.
Yeah,
Not Shadow.
this is all on Earth 59.
No Lockheed. Yeah.
And
I reckon
and
this is 616.
Yeah. Probably 666 more than anything.
And this second issue is the second volume of it.
Yeah.
And how many volumes in the Dark Phoenix?
Now,
part?
Scott, not to discourage you from showing up or anything, but if you go to byrnerobotics.com, that's BYRNE, robotics, one word,
I-
.com. This is all archived online over there for you to enjoy, plus all of the other material that comes after that. This is barely 6 months. We looked at probably 5 months worth of work, and he's been doing this for years.
Oh,
multiple years.
well, I got to show up here again because you guys can't survive without me while we're looking at this stuff. That's all.
That's the kind of fun we have. If you're up this early on Friday morning, you're always welcome to join us, Scott, every time.
Well, if there's ever a reason to get up early Friday mornings, it would be this stuff.
And as always, you
The
show
show
this
wouldn't
stuff
be Russ,
off.
that's for sure.
Yeah, as always, you show this stuff off thinking, oh, that'll make a nice little one off because it's the end of the year and it's fun stuff and it's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful material. But I guess we're going for 2. So
Oh, Jesus,
Well,
yes.
We've got a library of stuff to show and pour over.
we literally
yeah.
do. Plus,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of books already on loan from Jason, the artisan books of one Walter Simonson that we'll take a look at when these are done.
I got the.
Oh.
Have you got the Thor Walter Simonson?
No, sir, I have the Manhunter Walter Simonson,
I have the Thor artisan book.
which is his first real large body of published work, and I have the artisan book of the Alien movie adaptation.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I've got
Right.
I've got a remitter. I've got the Silver Surfer Buscema.
I've
Didn't you
got
get the-
access to the artisan version
Yeah,
of that
I've
too. When
got a
we'll
Kirby
we'll
one.
get around to that.
Yeah,
Didn't you,
yeah.
Russ, didn't you say you had the Prince Valiant volumes?
I got.
I've got the first 3 of those
got
too.
The first
Yeah.
3 of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've
Got a
got
rather
Scott
lovely
Rose-
book on Hal Foster as well. So there you
I've
go.
got Scott Rosen's Errantry, so you guys can see
That's
that.
the one. Yeah.
Scott, tell folks how they can find you, Scott.
I'll be in the recuperating ward for the rest of the week. Over at Facebook page, look up Scott Roseman. You can see me mangle and wander around there quite a bit. So come on by and watch me drool.
Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. You can pick up the next issue of Batman, 14th of Jan, in the UK, Europe. I'm in Italy now, so there you go.
There you go.
It's expanding. And you can pick up Only Death Can Save Us Book 2 over at Indiegogo, or the reprinted version of Book 1 from New Haven over at Amazon. And all my social medias, Instagram especially, and my email list. That would be really cool if you could sign up for that. All of that is at russleach.com.
Sweet. See, Michael, tell folks how they can find you.
As always, all my socials on Linktree / Michael Lanning, and various shows on IndieComicsNetwork.com. So,
All right, where's your next work coming out through?
probably Doghouse through House and
Sorry.
Productions. I finished that. So,
I was going to say, sorry to put you on the spot.
no. I just finished that, so they have to color it and letter it and everything. So that would probably be the next book.
Yeah. All right, Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, usual places like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and those kind of things.
Corner of the street.
Yeah, corner of the street. Especially at midnight. Especially at midnight.
Hey, you want to see some Kirby?
Hey, kid.
You want to see some Kirby? Get a hold of it.
Yeah.
And also get that with it as well. A DVD will be talking with him. Yeah, you can. And all my stuff is, or most of my stuff is on Amazon, and I'm on these podcasts and having a great time. So just Google my name apparently, and it's all over there.
There you
So I've
go.
been told.
All right. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We do this every Friday morning at 5 a.m. Because we're all early risers. And here's
Especially
Scott
me.
showing off his errantry. There you are. Especially you. Yeah, there you are.
I'm always here.
And you can find you can find my stuff at Arrow Comics 4.0 for now. We're going to be Arrow Comics as of the 1st of January. And we have arrowcomics.store available with all sorts of Arrow Comics products for you to purchase over there. The Rift Riders Indiegogo campaign is still in demand. That has a great Arrow Comics tier there where you can get copies of Calico, copies of Paragon, Marv, Sin Killer, Russ's Only Death Can Save Us, the Revolt book that has a Hatch story in it by Glenn. Everybody pretty much except for Rosema here.
Where's the new Hero Bot?
Rosema did the cover for Hero Bot 2. That's also available over at the store right now, but it's not part of that Arrow tier. That'll be part of the second tier of Arrow comics as we get more stuff put together. And I just, not to boast or anything, but I just got a page today from the colorist of a book I've been sitting on for 20 years. I'm so happy to be able to get this thing colored. Take a look at this.
Ciao.
What is that?
Look at that.
Zoom in.
That is the
Yeah,
Fool. I'm
give
going
us
to
a
try
zoom.
to zoom in. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. Yes, I can.
Oh,
Does that give you a little
wow.
better?
That's nice.
That's nice.
Yes, look. Yes. I told the colorist, he was asking for directions on this character. I said, just make sure he's wearing the same color clothing from scene to scene. So
Who's the colorist?
that's what you have to do. The colorist is Patrick out of Brazil.
Oh, okay.
And who drew it?
This was drawn by Chris Tyson like 20 years ago. It's my
Wow.
Oh
character.
my gosh.
This is the Fool. He is my answer to the Punisher. Because if you are an urban, if you're fighting urban street crime, you have to be a little crazy. And so he fights with practical joke weapons, and anybody he ties up for the authorities, he steals a piece of their clothing and he adds it to his action duds.
Nice.
So
Only
his mask
Randy.
is a tie with a couple of holes tied or knocked out of it, and his pants are all together. Kid asked him if he was a mutant, since he was a superhero, if he was a mutant, if he had any superpowers, and he leans over to the kid and goes, "I have the mutant power to sew," and runs off.
Only Randy would come up with this as a counterpoint to the Punisher. Only.
Oh,
Randy.
it's been a book I've
Yeah.
been sitting on for quite a while, and I can't wait to get it out to the public and show off Chris's work. Chris isn't doing any comic book work at the moment. I'm not even sure what he's doing. I haven't talked to him in years, but I'm hoping to surprise him one of these days with a nice little PayPal check into his account. So we'll see how that
Nice.
goes. Hey, out of the blue. Hey, I owe you some money. But I got a couple other books like that too that we're going to be coloring over the next year as we can. So there's a lot of great stuff coming out from Arrow Comics right now. Like I said, you can get that Calico book, you can get the Paragon book, you can get the first and second Hero Bot book. Hero Bot 1 is part of the Arrow tier, along with Sin Killer, Only Death Can Save Us 1. Nice little preview of the book that you can buy from New Haven Press. And that's a really nice package too. It's a nice book.
Thank you.
So
The second one will be out
incredibly
from New Haven, obviously after I've got all my backers their version.
mhm.
The version that you get, the backer version, is unique. It doesn't get reprinted, so it's an edited version that goes out to New Haven, because obviously I want to make sure that my backers get the best possible version they can get. That's not to say the New Haven one isn't good, just doesn't have quite as much in it. So
yeah.
Can't believe I did that. That whole burn thing was just
You're still soaking that in. You should have been here for the last 3 Steranko ones. You'd have been,
yeah,
my
wow.
should have been drooling hardcore. Yeah,
yeah.
as well.
You
at that.
missed my Buscema one. That was
That
a
too.
good one.
Oh, which
We
scene did you
love
show?
doing this for you folks. We're archived over at the Indie Comics Network. There's also Sunday Funnies that we do Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Most every Sunday. We didn't do it last week, but we'll do it this week as soon as I can figure out what we're going to talk about. But we'll talk about
Russ,
Or
what
we
what
might not talk
scene
about
did you
anything
do?
at all and just talk. Who knows?
Buscema book. It was the excuse me, I'll put my glasses on so I can read the title. Marvel Heroes. It's like this big. It's massive.
Holy crap.
Oh, you should have seen
fantastic.
that. The Steranko book was as big as my drawing board. It was
And
huge.
I've got a Brian Bolland one as well, just like that.
Is that our
we
Yeah,
comic?
well, you'll
was
have
that
to set up
comic-
your camera for that
We'll
one. We'll
do
get to
that
eventually.
one.
Yeah.
We'll do that one as well. The Brian Bolland one.
What
yeah.
was is the Buscema archived in the Comics by Night?
It's
ones?
probably in there. Yeah. We
Should
did.
be.
It was the first, wasn't it? The first
Yeah,
one we did.
it'll be there.
With a
Yeah, it's in
rostrum
there.
camera.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in there.
And that's the original page reproductions, right? The-
Yeah, they're pretty much the right size. Yeah, there's even some fold outs, A2 fold outs.
Oh my
It's just
God.
fantastic stuff.
I'm also hoping to get a copy. Well, I've got some great Mad magazines. It might take us until April at this rate before we can get to them, but that might be a good month to do humor stuff. We did Don Martin last week,
Yeah.
Scott, and that was hilarious. Flabadap, buddy.
Oh God,
Flabadap.
yes, boink.
Yeah, boink. But I'm
One of the
also
greatest-
looking to get a copy of Savage Sword of Conan #6 because there's a 30-page Alex Nino's Conan story in there that is just phenomenal.
Oh,
I've got it in like an essentials collection that Dark Horse did, and it's not going to be the same. So I'm looking for a copy of the actual magazine so that we can go through it nice
we
and
can
up close.
only hope that they'll eventually do an artist editions of some of Busima's Alcala inked Conan stuff.
Yeah. I've got an Alcala. I've got the Iron Moons. So I've got that all in one issue. I managed to pick that up on eBay, and it's magazine size, so it's not as small as the
But
comic.
boy, you get those.
But it's not presentation size, but it's still beautiful.
I've got
Still lovely to look at.
Alcala's adaptation of Land of Oz that we could go through.
Yeah.
If we had to.
Oh man,
That's beautiful. He tries to be he takes all of John R. Neal's illustrations that are in the book and he fits them into the storytelling as he goes along. It's just beautifully done. Just beautifully
you guys
done.
are so good. Oh,
yeah. Folks, this has been Comics by Night for the 30th of December. We wish everybody a very, very happy new year. We are glad that you are here. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like, leave a comment in the chat. You don't have to be up early Friday morning all the time because we're archived over on the Indie Comics Network.
But it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. No, it doesn't. You can always take a nap later. So set your alarm. Sometimes we have Brian K. Morris on here too. He just didn't get Cookie's permission this morning to get up early enough. So we hope everybody's doing well. We hope all of you out there are doing well as well. Love you all. Make sure you go visit your retailer. There's all sorts of gems like this out there. If you look hard enough, you want to see more of that byrne ELSEWHEN material, byrnerobotics.com. Go over there and take a look and enjoy. There's an afternoon at least worth of hardcore X-Men over there. The X-Men that we used to love. So we'll see everybody soon. We'll see everybody next year. So we'll be back. We'll be back New Year's Day, hopefully, depending upon how many of these party animals are awake to help us out and to
you guys get out of bed once in a while.
Yeah, listen to you, Scott.
Yeah, you guys.
We're glad you can join us. Everybody, take care. We're going out. We've got a couple of bumps to run, and then we'll get out of here. But in the meantime, folks, again, we hope your 2023 is brighter than your 2022, and not always. And probably not, but we'll see everybody soon. Take care, everyone.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
I keep hitting it and it just doesn't go through.
She means it as well.
She does. She means it very sincerely. Yeah.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comic Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
I should also mention that we're talking about putting a t-shirt, making a t-shirt available over at the Arrow Comics store as well. That says, "Death can wait. I'm making comics." Arrow
My
Comics
wife's motto, exactly.
Yeah, arrowcomics.store. Arrowcomics.store.
My God.
Here we go. Here's a few more bumps here. We'll just throw a funny video in.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
All great.
Bye, Jack. We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.